Nothing was wrong with his life. At least, that's what it looked like. He had a job that paid the bills, a daily routine that made sense. People around him respected him and said he was doing well. From the outside, everything appeared stable, normal, acceptable. There was nothing dramatic enough to complain about. And that was exactly the problem. Every morning he woke up at the same time. Alarm, shower, coffee, commute. But there was one moment that repeated itself every day. When he sat on the edge of his bed before getting up, there was a quiet resistance inside him. Not sadness, not fear, not panic. Just a subtle heaviness. A feeling he couldn't name. A sense that something wasn't aligned. He noticed it, and then ignored it. He told himself this was adulthood. That life wasn't supposed to feel exciting all the time. That responsibility naturally felt heavy. So he pushed the feeling aside and continued doing what he was supposed to do. At work, he played his role well. He attended meetings, nodded at the right moments, agreed even when something didn't fully make sense to him. Sometimes he had doubts. Sometimes he felt a quiet resistance in his body. But he didn't question it. He told himself he didn't have enough experience, that others probably knew better, that it was easier to agree than to explain how he felt. Choosing himself felt risky. Approval felt safe. So he kept choosing approval. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And that quiet feeling didn't disappear. It changed shape. He started overthinking small decisions. What to say, how to respond, whether he came across the right way. Even simple choices began to feel exhausting. He felt tired even after sleeping. Woke up without energy. Little things irritated him more than they used to. Traffic, noise, small delays. He didn't recognize himself anymore. He told himself it was stress. That everyone felt this way. That he was just thinking too much. He kept himself busy, stayed distracted, filled every quiet moment with something. Because whenever things slowed down, that feeling returned. Deep down, he knew something wasn't aligned. But knowing didn't mean acting. So life continued. One evening, while traveling home in a crowded bus, surrounded by noise, movement, and people, he suddenly felt overwhelmed. Not angry, not anxious, just mentally tired. He stood there holding the rail, watching people scroll on their phones, listening to conversations he wasn't part of. And for the first time in a long while, he noticed something clearly. He felt disconnected, not from people, but from himself. That realization didn't come with drama. It came quietly. He hadn't listened to himself in a long time. That night, he reached home and didn't turn on the TV, didn't scroll on his phone, didn't distract himself. He sat down. At first, the silence felt uncomfortable, almost unsettling. His mind jumped from thought to thought. Work conversations replayed. Unfinished thoughts surfaced. Old decisions returned. He felt the urge to escape the silence, but he stayed. Minutes passed. Slowly, something shifted. The noise in his head didn't disappear, but it slowed down. And in that slower space, he started noticing patterns. Every situation that drained him had started with a moment of discomfort that he chose to ignore. Every regret came from a decision where he already knew the answer but dismissed it. Every time he felt stuck, he had chosen what felt safe instead of what felt honest. This realization wasn't comforting, it was confronting. He wasn't confused. He hadn't lost direction. He had been avoiding clarity. Because clarity asked for responsibility, and responsibility felt lonely. Clarity didn't come with applause. It didn't come with reassurance. It didn't come with people agreeing. It came quietly and waited. Over the next few weeks, he didn't make dramatic changes. There were no sudden resignations, no emotional announcements, no drastic decisions. Life looked the same from the outside. But internally, something shifted. He started paying attention. Before saying yes, he paused. Before agreeing, he checked in with himself. Sometimes he still said yes. But this time, it was a conscious choice. Sometimes he admitted he needed time. Sometimes he acknowledged discomfort instead of fighting it. He noticed how often his body reacted before his mind did. Tightness, restlessness, a subtle sense of resistance. Instead of labeling it as overthinking, he treated it as information. Most importantly, he stopped judging himself for feeling lost. He realized something important. Awareness comes before change. You don't fix your life by forcing answers. You fix it by noticing what you've been avoiding. Slowly, the overthinking reduced. Not because life became easier, not because problems disappeared, but because he trusted his inner knowing more than his fear of discomfort. His life still looked normal from the outside. Same job, same routine, same responsibilities. But inside, things felt quieter. Less pretending, less self-betrayal, less resistance, more honesty, more alignment, more presence. The feeling he once tried to escape was never a problem. It was guidance. It was asking to be listened to. Sometimes, nothing is wrong with your life. You're just not listening to yourself.